Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, August 28th, 2018. This is Jennifer. I have been a busy bee since last week. I have found myself full of the sojo since I went on a quilt retreat with Jules, and so in the last week I have added borders to my Talk to Me Tuesday swap quilt top. I have fabric on the way for the back, which I'm going to save and show you guys after I get it quilted, and I've been practicing the way I want to quilt this quilt top. You can see right here, this is a 6-inch border that was made using the 6-inch blocks I showed you last week that are the centers of these larger log cabin blocks. So I made enough of those to put a strip down each side just to make it a little wider. So this is 72 by 84 now, and I could be wrong on that, but we're gonna go with it. I think it's 72 by 84. This will be hopefully quilted in the next couple weeks. I had a lot of ideas about how to do this. What I really decided I wanted to do was do some swirls, and swirls are something I did a lot when I used to free motion quilt on my home machine, you know, where you actually move the quilt yourself, but because of repetitive stress I ended up buying a quilt frame, and so now I'm quilting like this. So I'm driving the machine now instead of moving the quilt, so the muscle memory is a little bit different, and I haven't done swirls that much since I got the Grace frame. So what I decided was, since I have a giant stack of Lina's quilt tops from Quilt Retreat, that I was going to practice my swirls. So this is not bound yet, so I'm not going to do a big show and tell. I'll probably do that after I get these all bound, but I did practice my swirls on this little quilt, which were orphan blocks from Susan. Susie, please let me know if I'm right. I'm pretty sure these were from you. This was me practicing my swirls. This is the first one that I did. And the back of this is just some fabric I picked up from Linus. Next I picked up the whole cloth quilt that I did where I appliqued the hexes on the front. These were all orphan blocks. And I did the same thing, which you can't see as much because I had thread that matched this fabric perfectly, but you can see it on the back. So I did more swirls on this one. This one I'm really happy with. I can't wait to get it bound and do a big show and tell. It was not fun to square up because it was just a piece of yardage, but once I got it squared up, I am very happy with it. So I will show you guys this one more later. And then yesterday I did this little quilt. I feel like I'm finally to the point where I'm super happy with my swirls. This is another orphan block quilt. Most of these actually came from Jules's orphan block stash. We had a lot of this sort of color family, like this autumn fall sort of color family of blocks. So we both ended up making at least one of these, possibly more. I'd have to go back and look at my pictures, or my quilt tops, I guess. And this is how I am going to quilt my Talk to Me Tuesday quilt top. That is one of the best things about getting to work on charity quilts. Not only do I get to make quilts that go to kids who really need them in a time of crisis, but I can really play around with my skill set, and I can do really fun things in a very small way, and then share this with a kid, and then also I can use this for, you know, just building my skills and my abilities as far as quilting goes. So I'm feeling super comfortable with the swirls now, and I am looking forward to doing this on the big quilt. The only other thing I did last week that was sewing related was I made my other Quilt Retreat pillowcase. You guys might remember that Jules and I both made a pillowcase at Retreat, and then we swapped fabric. So this is the leftovers from her pillowcase, and she has the leftovers from mine. So she has a pillowcase that has this as the body and this is the cuff. So this will go on my pillow, and then she has the rest of my fabric to go on hers. Tomorrow is the final post for the UFO Quilt Along 2018. I have not finished my quilt along projects at all. First, my Juki was in the shop for like 3 weeks, and then I was out of town, and I did get a start on my There and Back Again quilt. Like I said last week, it's about half quilted, but because I was working on this stuff, I have not worked on that yet. I just have a burning desire to quilt this, so this has been put off once again. I have the perfect place for this quilt. It's going to go at the top of my stairs when I finally finish it, but I do have a bunch of stitches to pick out because my thread was breaking and skipping stitches. stitches before I had my sewing machine serviced. So I am leading this quilt along, and I did not finish anything for the quilt along, but I did make a whole bunch of other stuff, so I don't feel too super guilty about it. The other big thing I've been working on for Fandom and Stitches is getting ready for the Hocus Pocus quilt along. We have a whole quilt along plan from September to December, designed by Daphne Seymour with help from Joe, and it is almost entirely done. I am writing every post ahead of time because I'm going to be out of town a little bit here and there. I have everything that I need, and the first post will go up next week, so you guys be sure and look for that. And you can check on Fandom and Stitches today, and I should have the link to the Hocus Pocus Facebook group. If you don't see that on fandomandstitches.com, I've posted it on the Facebook. You can probably just search Hocus Pocus Quilt Along on Facebook and it will come up. That group has grown furiously since I posted it last week, and Daphne is your moderator, so she's there to answer your questions. I will be there too, but not as much as Daphne because this is really her quilt along. I'm just hosting it on Fandom and Stitches. So you guys, I know it's going to be a great time. It's a fantastic quilt with a lot of really fun patterns, and it's just in time to get into the Halloween spirit. So that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Have a crafty week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.